Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode. We're on episode 58 to our show Good Day Chula Vista. I'm Faby Gonzalez with Coldwell Banker West, your realtor here in Eastlake and all San Diego. So today we have a great show, so stay with us. A year to get here. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. Well, today we have a different show because lately we've been talking about, attorneys and construction and everything together, but we never talk about health, things to be healthier, to feel better. So today we have Dr. Eva Tang here with us. Thank you.
Hello.
Thank you
Thanks
for
for
joining
having
us.
me. Yeah.
So she's here with us to tell us about. She's a chiropractor here. Her office is here in Chula Vista, but I'm gonna let her introduce herself. So tell us about you, what you do, where you're from.
So, hello everyone. Thank you so much for having me. I am a family chiropractor and I am originally from San Diego. I grew up in the Pacific Beach area.
Uh huh.
And while growing up, my best friend, both of her parents were chiropractors. So
Oh.
I got to see her family always just being really healthy. I knew that they did something together as a family. It was normal for me to see the girls getting checked by chiropractors. I just knew that they were this healthy family and
Uh
they
huh.
had an influence on me, but it was subtle. I didn't really know. I never always knew I wanted to be a chiropractor. I didn't actually even get adjusted until I was away at college. I went to Villanova University, which is in Pennsylvania.
Mhm.
So I went pretty much as far away as I could to get a taste of the East Coast. And I would come home for summer breaks and I started to go in to see her parents, the
Mhm.
chiropractors. And I started noticing that that year I didn't get sick. I didn't get any colds. I was like, this is kind of cool. And I also, as a young adult, suffered from anxiety. It was something that had run in my family. My
Mhm.
mother had bad anxiety, her mother, her sisters and brothers. So it was a trend and it was something that I
Yeah.
thought was like my destiny.
Right.
And I started noticing after going to the chiropractor a couple times, couple weeks, couple months, my anxiety was going down. It's like,
Wow.
this is amazing.
A lot of you guys have anxiety because you've told me.
Yes, it is real. And I was studying actually to be an environmental lawyer. So I was off at undergrad studying environmental studies and
Something
sustainability.
totally different.
Something totally different. And because my focus was sustainability, the more I learned about chiropractic, the more I realized that it is a really sustainable form of healthcare. It's, in my opinion, the
Right.
most sustainable form of healthcare for families. So
Right.
it really jived with what I had wanted to accomplish with environmental law, which was to leave the world a better place for the next generation. And I really felt when I found my calling as a chiropractor, that's what I get to do every day is help make the next generation
Better.
healthier and leave the world
Healthier
a
and
better
better.
place.
So
Yeah.
how long have you been a chiropractor?
2 years down here in San Diego.
Uh-huh.
I went to chiropractic school up in the Bay Area
Thank you.
in Hayward. It's sort of, are you familiar with the Bay Area at all?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Okay, so it's sort of like south of Oakland, the East Bay Area. And that's actually where I met my fiance, who's also a chiropractor.
Oh,
so
wow.
I've been practicing down here.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I was practicing in Claremont in San Diego, and now I moved down here to Chula Vista. This is the area that we decided we wanted to grow our roots and raise a family and start opening up our own practice. So that's what I've been doing, and he's going to be joining me in the practice that I'm in now in
Yeah.
about a month.
Wow,
So,
congratulations.
thank
Well,
you.
great choice of city.
Yes,
To raise
I
your
agree.
family, great school district here in Chula Vista, and, just a really nice community.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us and letting us meet you. And I know that your office is really close by. You're here on Fenton and Harold.
Yep, right off of Harold Place. It's
Yeah, right by
walking
Lolitas,
distance.
you guys, right in that up that street. So we were lately we've been having a couple of professionals from that building where you are, and we were saying before you used to have to go downtown San Diego or like further north, And it's so amazing now we have all these professionals here in Chula Vista. Just because it's now a bigger community, there's that need. You see more clinics and things like that. So great. It's great to have you just around the corner.
Yeah, it's great.
So we prepare a few questions. I've never been to a chiropractor.
Ooh.
Ever. But Claudia, my assistant, did. She was in an accident.
Yeah, she was telling me about that.
Yeah, so she introduced my son, and then he went to see, I think, once only. So it's something new for us here at the office. So we're excited to have you and ask you all these questions.
I'm excited to bring it, guys. I'm excited to tell you about it. We're going to learn a lot today.
Perfect. Okay, guys, make sure you guys share this video. If you have any questions for her, you can type them on your on our show right now live, and we'll ask her. And if you guys join after, make sure you type your questions, and we'll have her go back and see your questions, and she can obviously answer. And we'll have her information on the top of this video after, so you guys can contact her directly if you guys want to make an appointment or have more questions. So let's start with the questions. What type of training do chiropractors have?
That's a great question. Okay. Not a lot of people know what sorts of training chiropractors have. My friends were all very confused when I told them I was going to chiropractic school. And chiropractic school curriculum is actually really similar to medical school curriculum, except the two just have different focuses. So we learn a lot of anatomy, a lot of physiology, a lot of the science component is the same. Traditionally, medical school, they are teaching you how to use pharmaceutical drugs and surgery and different tools, right, to get people better.
Right.
Chiropractors are trained to use our hands to help people recover and to help promote health in the body. So different focuses, but it's typically you're looking at 4 years after undergrad. So most people have, their Bachelor of Arts or of Science in field of study of their choice. Sometimes it's kinesiology or something that really makes sense. Biology for me, it was something totally different, and I totally, switched tracks.
Careers.
So, usually looking at about 8 years. Wow. And then a year and a half of a clinical internship. So similar to how medical doctors do like a residency, we have a clinical internship where we are working with the public, where we're learning how to put together treatment plans and how to manage people's care long term and ongoing. So we get that hands-on component as well, so that when we graduate and go into the world, we are ready to go.
And do you continue schooling like throughout the years, like once you are?
Yes, continuing education is a legal requirement, but it's also fun and keeps you at the top of your game. So a lot of chiropractors love going to seminars and learning more. And a number of chiropractors will actually specialize even after just they are licensed to be general chiropractors. They can take different tracks. So what my fiance and I have specialized in is pediatrics, so taking care of kids, and also pregnant women. So you can get certifications to do that. And I have colleagues that are diplomats in chiropractic neurology. I have colleagues who have studied sports chiropractic and have done additional training to work with very, very high caliber athletes and sports teams. I mean, all the professional sports teams have chiropractors on their team. So depending on who you want to work with, you can then go and get even more specific and do more specialized training.
That's amazing. I didn't know it was like so much into that, but obviously there has to be like different specialties.
Yeah, it's legit.
And let's see, why would a family or anyone see a chiropractor?
So people these days more and more are looking for options for healthcare that are safe, that are natural.
Yes.
And that are effective, right? So, and cost effective as well. That's a main component. Yes. So as people are starting to take control over their health, I see more of a demand for this type of alternative, we call it, but I'm hoping it's going to be mainstream sometime soon, type of healthcare.
I think it will.
I think so. That's where things are headed.
Yes.
So chiropractic at its core really helps people adapt and manage stress. So we all encounter stress. The main 3 forms that chiropractors address are physical stress, chemical stress, and emotional stress. So physical stress is the most obvious for most people. Car accidents, postural stress, crappy posture day in and day out, falls and injuries and stuff like that. Chemical stress, so the types of foods that we eat or the toxins that are in our environment definitely impact the way our bodies function. And then emotional stress can really affect the body as well, because it affects our body chemistry. So if you think about, I always say like getting cut off in traffic, because I feel like everyone drives like crazy people on the freeway these days.
Not in Chula Vista.
And not in perfect Chula Vista.
Exactly.
But elsewhere, when you drive up into downtown, into San Diego, people are driving crazy. You've been cut off in traffic before, right?
Oh my God.
How does it make you feel? Like, just,
Yeah.
Your heart beats fast, right? You start to turn red, you sweat, exactly.
And
people
anxiety,
freak out.
My back starts
Anxiety,
hurting.
exactly.
I feel like, oh my God, my
Yes.
stretch my legs. Yeah.
Yep. So that is an example of your body having a very real physiological reaction to a thought, which is that you're stressed, or maybe you have road rage, and people have different degrees than others, but that's a thought, and it affects your chemistry. Your body is literally releasing different chemicals because of your emotional state. Mm-hmm. So physical, chemical, and emotional stress, and what happens over the course of a lifetime is these things build up. And you said you can imagine maybe feeling like your back will start to feel tight, or you need to stretch, and that's because our spines start to lock up and they stop moving properly when we're really, really stressed over time. So what chiropractic does for the body is we work with the spine. A lot of people know that. We do something with the back and the neck and the spine, but what not as many people know is that the reason we work with the spine is because it protects your nerve system. So what is your nerve system? It is the main communication superhighway in the body. It's the way that your brain communicates with your body, every cell, every organ, all your glands, and it's the way that your body communicates back to your brain. So it's an ongoing loop that needs to be on all day long for you to be at your best. And the system can get thrown off by all those types of stressors. So by doing what chiropractors do, which is called an adjustment, not only are we helping to bring proper alignment into the spine, but by restoring that proper motion, we're actually helping your brain and your body communicate better. Which can affect your body chemistry and anything from the way you feel to how well you're able to focus, how well your immune system can work. I mean, you name it. If it has to do with human performance, having that communication system running properly is
flowing the way it should.
Exactly.
Wow.
It's a good thing.
I would have never thought it would like go that far. Like, wow, it has a big impact in your whole health.
It does. And we're really able to back it up. I mean, the last 5 or 10 years, they've come out with some really incredible research on chiropractic and how it impacts the body. So now you can go online and you can look a lot of this stuff up, and you're finding credible, peer-reviewed journals that are explaining how the adjustments work with our physiology. So I think it's a really exciting time to be a chiropractor.
So if you have anxiety, you can go see a chiropractor.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would have never thought that.
Yeah.
I would have, because usually you go to the doctor and the first thing they want to put you on antidepressants. That's the first thing they want to do if they're like, oh, you have anxiety, or it's stress, here, take this. And, most people are smarter than that and they don't do that. But then you're like, okay, what do? I don't want to feel this anxiety. I just want to have a good day. So, wow.
Yeah, in my opinion, it just seems to be something that, because it is safe and natural, it's a good thing to try first. And once you get your body working properly, you balance out your chemistry naturally, then if you still have anxiety, you look at some other options. But it's like, as a minimum starting point,
there.
Make sure your body, your nerve system's working properly, and go from there.
And is it safe for kids to be adjusted?
Absolutely. Adjusting kids and babies, we take care of newborns and infants in our office. It's really, really different from adults. So some people go on YouTube and they watch these videos of people getting adjusted. They get all freaked out. They go, "You're going to twist my baby's neck." No.
I know my poor baby. No.
Chiropractors that work with babies and kids, it's not like adjusting a tiny adult. It's a whole different skill set, requires a whole different set of training, like I mentioned before. So it's important to bring your child to a chiropractor that knows how to work with kids, but
specializes in that.
Absolutely. And a lot of chiropractors work with kids, and it comes back to stress, what we were talking about earlier. So kids have their own version of physical, chemical, and emotional stress. It starts at birth. So a common question we get is, why would a newborn get adjusted when people see babies in our office? And the answer is that the birth process can be really stressful for mama and for baby.
Yeah. Especially the baby's the one going through that little.
Yep, exactly. And the head comes out first, right? And then they kind of, shoulders do a turn to get rest of baby's body out. And because we had talked about, the spine and the nerve system, let's say as the baby's coming out, maybe there's some pulling on the head or, just some general pressure and tension. They can get something out of alignment. And because babies can't communicate like we can, maybe now that baby is fussy and now you have a colicky baby, they get labeled as colicky.
Yeah.
Or now they have problems going to the bathroom or feeding, any number of things that are now just not quite working right because something has gone out of alignment in a really important area. So we check for that. We check and make sure that there's nothing that's happened in the birth process that is going to affect them as their spine grows and develops over the years. So that's the most important time to be checked, really.
You know, when I had my first son, Adrian here, he used to cry a lot when he was a baby, and that was the first thing they told me. It was like, oh, you know, it's the milk, and he has too much. Well, you know, a colicky baby. That's what they would say. Nobody ever suggested that, and he had when I had him, they had to pull him out. They had to use those tools that they use, so it was like a lot of stress on him, and that was never offered. Like, we don't feel as much stress because we're under the anesthesia, so we don't feel pain. So I think at that point, but they don't have any anesthesia, they're just coming out like that. So I'm thinking that was never offered to me, and now that you're saying, I'm like, oh, maybe he was uncomfortable with his back, maybe something. And
yeah,
you know.
It makes sense, right, once you learn about it, which is why education is such a big piece, and I love
it makes a lot of sense.
Educating the community about this so that people can know that it's an option for them.
Right.
And then as kids grow up, you know, kids are learning to walk. I'm sure you remember when Adrian was learning to walk. He probably fell a lot, right?
Yes.
Fell right on his butt. So then we fall and take tumbles, especially kids that are playing sports, and the sports training schedule is getting more intense for kids, and they're carrying heavy backpacks, and they've got this thing. Have you heard of text neck or tech neck, they're calling it now?
Or computer neck.
The computer neck. It's posture, you know, poor posture for hours and hours and hours. So all these types of new stresses in the age of technology are adding layers of things that children are faced with that their bodies have to overcome as they're growing up. So it's an ongoing process.
Wow, that's an eye-opener there. So if you have a baby and it's, you know, crying a lot, you know, it doesn't hurt, you know?
To check. And
is it painful?
So that's a good question as well.
I think that's my next question.
Yeah.
What is that cracking sound? What does it mean when people say they got popped or cracked at a chiropractor? And is it painful?
Okay, great questions. A lot of people, again, the YouTube videos come into play, and people come in with their minds with these crazy ideas of what the adjustments are like. Here's the thing. There's so many different techniques in chiropractic. So there's a technique that works for anyone, basically. So we offer a variety of techniques in our office. Not all of them involve popping or twisting or cracking. We have many that don't produce a cracking noise, don't involve twisting. For people that don't prefer that, it's not necessary to make the adjustment. The popping sound itself is actually just a release of air pressure in your joint. It's kind of like popping the champagne cork out of the bottle, or, you know, popping the lid off the jar of jelly. It's air. It's not literally like bones cracking, and it's no different than cracking your knuckles. So some adjustments you'll hear that release, some adjustments you won't. With kids, for example, so with a newborn, no twisting, no cracking, the amount of pressure needed to adjust a newborn is about the amount of pressure, if you were to put like your finger over your eyelid, the amount of pressure you could comfortably put on your eyeball, which is not very much, or the amount of pressure you would use to check if a tomato is ripe is another example. So very, very gentle. And chiropractic for kids, again, very, very gentle, and it's very specific. So that's important as well.
So it's not painful?
No, it should not be painful. Most people, go ahead.
Because when Claudia went, I don't like that popping sound, and I have two sons, and they're always doing that to each other. Oh, can you crack my back? And I'm like, oh, I don't want to hear it. I always think it's painful, but they love it. Yeah. And then when Claudia went, I'm like, did it hurt? What was it? And she's like, oh no, I loved it. And then every time she was gonna go to her appointment, she would be so happy. Oh, I get to see my chiropractor today. And I would just think like, how could you possibly like that? So she really liked, and then she felt really good.
Yeah. Well, it's different strokes for different folks. We've got a lot of people that love that cracking, that release, and they absolutely love it. We have other people that are like, that freaks me out. Do not go there. We have special.
It's not painful, like you said.
No, I mean, it's a different sensation, right? And it can be sometimes getting motion in an area that's been stuck for a while. Sometimes after the first couple adjustments, depending on what condition the person's coming in with, you might get a little bit of soreness, just like you worked out a new muscle group at the gym. But it shouldn't be like painful shooting pain. And most people think that it feels really good. I've had people say they just want to go to sleep and take a nap afterwards, and people say they feel.
What do you guys think? Do you guys like that cracking sound? Are you kind of like, please crack my back? We have some questions here. Like, let's see if they're So this is how it shows. This is how they're seeing us right now.
Oh,
and
cool.
This is all the people that are there joining us and asking questions.
It's a bumping party.
Yeah, everybody's joining us here. Jose Melara, have you been to a chiropractor? You probably have. Salvador Fregoso, thank you. Esperanza Close, is it me or the volume is really low? Is it?
Oh.
They fixed it.
Oh, he fixed it. Okay. Thank you, Esperanza, for letting us know. I didn't see it, but Claudia is on it all the time, so they already adjusted. Let me know if you can hear better.
She said volume is great.
Okay, perfect. Great. Hi, Jamie. Thank you for joining us. Karen, that's our manager. Karen.
Awesome.
Karen Vargas. Corey Shepard, that's our general manager, too, at the office.
Hi, everyone. This is cool.
Yeah.
I've never done a Facebook Live before.
No? Okay.
No.
Well, welcome to one. I'm sure you're going to keep doing more because you know what? A lot of people want to know. Like, imagine everything all these people are learning that we didn't know.
Yeah.
Emotional stress. Okay. Hello, ladies. Ana Hueso, hola, chicas. Makes sense. Great show. Very descriptive of various levels of chiro field. How often do you recommend going for an adjustment?
That's a good question. I'd like to answer that question if
ahead.
I may.
And that's Karen Vargas' answer.
Okay.
I mean,
so,
the question.
Karen, and anyone else who may be wondering, how often do people go? Well, that really ranges, and it depends on two main things. And I would say the first thing is the state of someone's health when they walk into my office. And the second thing is what their goals are. So depending on their current condition and where they want to get to, we'll customize care plans for them. So we definitely don't have a one-size-fits-all approach in our office. It depends on what your goals are.
Right.
So I use an analogy of like going to the gym and wanting to get in shape. If you're really, really overweight and you want to, and you've got chronic back pain that you've had for decades and you want to run a marathon in 3 months,
you have to go to the
you're going to be coming in all the time.
Right.
If you are someone that maybe has been seeing a chiropractor throughout their life on and off or was checked as a child, bonus points.
So if you wanted to do it every day for a week, you could?
Yeah, it's not common that I start people out every day for a week, but really it's consistency over time. So just like a workout, if you were to work out every day or put together a training plan where you're working out most days, you're going to get into shape a lot faster than if you go, once every couple weeks, you go here and there. It's good for your body, but in terms of specific results, typically when we're putting together like an intensive care plan, most people start at, 3 times a week for the more intense end, 3 or 4 times a week. And I've got people who are on a maintenance, more of a wellness program. Their bodies are already adapting well to stress. They're already at a place of balance. And for them, it's about, once or twice a month. So it totally ranges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you got your answer, Karen. Karen, it's only a few blocks from the office. So Karen is really concerned with her posture. She wants to be, standing straight, walking straight. So now she has an alarm that she put on. It's like a tool, and it looks like an alarm from the clothing store. And that she has like a tag, and we always think she has a tag on her shirt.
Let me get that for you.
We always do like, oh, what is that on your shirt? It's like, oh, it's my alarm because I want to make sure. So I don't know what it does. I think it does something with her watch or it vibrates something. So then she remembers. So it's not really doing anything. It's just reminding you that you're doing that. So I know she really is trying to work on that. So it might be good for her to she can go during her lunch break.
Yeah.
Right.
Part of what we do for our initial assessment is a digital posture assessment. So we look at posture from the front, we look at it from the side, and we measure and we see exactly what's going on. So posture is huge. It's like a window into your health.
Wow.
Yeah.
Adrian needs to do that.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah.
I know. Everyone's like, okay, sit up straighter.
Like, we all want to go.
I'll walk into the room and people will be texting on their phone and I'll go, ahem, and they'll go, oh, okay. She's coming.
I have more questions here, but let me ask you. Karen had another question. That's a deep, let's see. It was one for babies. How often? No, it was. Babies' bones are still soft. Will this not hurt or maybe deform them?
Absolutely not. So that is a great point. Babies' bones are still soft, which is why the amount of pressure, the amount of force that we use is so light. And it's why it's so important to be very, very specific. It's not guesswork when we're going in. There is an assessment process that we do for every human that comes into our office. It doesn't matter if it's an adult or a baby. We do an exam, we do a physical assessment and a neurological assessment to figure out what's going on in the spine and what exactly is needed, so we're not just going around and moving things around
Adjusting
willy-nilly.
things that don't need to
We're
be
going in very specifically to correct a specific misalignment. So
Okay.
yeah, it is important with babies because their bones are still forming. Absolutely.
And they specialize. They take more training for that, Karen. And depression, supposedly the chiropractor told me that my bones were squeezing my nerves and that could... Let me read that thing again. Would you be able to read that question, Karen?
No.
I mean, Claudia?
It blocks it with the
Okay,
emojis.
so depression.
Oh.
So is that, so then could you be depressed because your bones are squeezing your nerves and things like that? Could that bring depression?
So it's a good question. And in a similar way that something like anxiety can be affected by our body and our spine, depression, anything that has to do with our body chemistry being off can be impacted definitely by bones being compressed and affecting the nerves, but even just by our posture. So if you were to sort of round forward like this and be in poor posture, go ahead and try it. And then take like a deep breath in.
You can.
It's kind of hard to breathe, right? And then roll your shoulders back, sit up nice and tall, and take another deep breath.
Yeah, that one feels like it
Feels
goes all the
so
way
much
down
better,
to,
right?
Yeah.
So you're getting more oxygen to all of your cells, all of your tissues in your body. You're going to be able to think more clearly. So posture totally affects the way that we feel.
The oxygen that goes through our body.
The oxygen that goes through our body and our body chemistry balance. And then again, it comes back to the nerve system. If you have something in your spine that's misaligned that's affecting the nerves, well, that nerve system is your communication superhighway. It doesn't matter where the nerves are in your body. They're all going to trace back and lead into the spine, and they're all going to go from the spine up the spinal cord through the brainstem to the brain. So they're all connected to this loop, which is improved by improving that communication through the adjustments.
Wow. Yeah, it affects you more than you think when you're not with your posture and
Yes.
taking care of your back. So Karen has another question. Karen is always asking us a lot of questions because even though some of these she has the answers, she wants to make sure she's asking for everybody else. So
Thank you, Karen.
Karen.
These are great questions.
I have to say that because Karen is like, people must think that I don't know anything.
I like questions.
Me too.
I'm a questions asker myself. I was always a hand raiser in school.
Yeah, that's what makes you better. Does a deep massage readjust the spine as a chiropractor would do?
Another great question. So massage, just like medical doctors, just like acupuncture, physical therapy, they're all different modalities, so they all have a different aim. So if you think about muscles, right, muscles being tight, let's say you've got one area that's always tight and it never goes away, and it's being caused by something being misaligned in your spine.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can massage that muscle all day long, and if you don't address the alignment issue, it's always going to be tight. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So
yes.
massage is absolutely wonderful for breaking up scar tissue, improving circulation. It helps boost recovery. It's definitely great for the body, and it just has a different focus than the chiropractic adjustments. It's not geared towards
The bone.
alignment or the nerve system. It's geared towards taking
Muscle.
awesome care of your musculoskeletal system. So both important,
Muscles
very different.
and nerves. Okay. That's
And the nerves control the muscles.
right.
So
So if it's your muscles, if you went to the gym and you're sore, yeah, maybe a massage would help. But if it's something more, is your nerves or your backbones, you
Yes.
definitely, that's probably not going to help, just a massage. I mean, not in long term, probably just with the pain a little bit.
yeah, or if you're sore, I mean, there's difference between muscle soreness from a workout and like being sore in the same place for
Yeah.
10, 15 years. Probably something else going on, right?
Can we ruffle an adjustment? That's Claudia.
She's over in the corner thinking, I kind of just want to use that sound.
my
She's
back is
hooking
sound machine.
adjustments now because she loves them. So now she's like, can we ruffle one out?
Are we doing a raffle?
Yeah, we are. We
Oh, but
usually do
but
at
not
the
because
end.
you're giving something. We give out Starbucks gift cards, unless you
Oh.
want to ruffle something out. Yeah, you
Cool.
can definitely do that.
I want to be in the raffle for a Starbucks gift card.
Okay, let's see. If you have a deviation of your spine, can you still have this done?
Absolutely. And a deviation of the spine, I mean, I'm not sure what exactly is meant by that in the question, but
Okay.
typically, I mean, we see a lot of people that have been told scoliosis, for example, is a deviation of the spine. It's an abnormal, aka not
Curve.
normal curve in the spine, and that is something that proper motion can help improve symptomatically.
Okay.
It depends on what the deviation is really
Okay.
would be my answer to that. But if you want to put another comment, if you have something in mind, something specifically, what type of deviation, I could answer your question better.
So once you visit a chiropractor, are you doomed to see a chiropractor forever? Basically, is it dependent? You want me read the rest, but I'm pretty sure it's, huh?
It's going to happen.
I love that question.
Yeah,
I
you're
really
gonna
do.
be hooked, definitely, because Claudia is hooked on feeling good. So I think it's like having a Starbucks in the morning. Like once you enjoy it, you want it every morning. So I don't think it's addictive, but
You actually, that was a great answer, and that's what I tell people. I mean, we don't rope you into chiropractic for life, but that's like a secret thing that a lot of people think, and sometimes it stops them from going. They're like, "Oh, if I go, I'm gonna have to go my entire life," which to me is ridiculous. I mean, no one's gonna make you do anything. A lot of times, the reason why people go for the rest of their lives, just like once you start eating healthy or once you start working out, you're like, oh my gosh, my body feels amazing. I want more of this.
yeah.
You want more, and as long as you are alive and under gravity and being exposed to stress, it's going to help you adapt to stress. That's not to say you have to go in intensely for your entire life, you know.
But you
Things
might
ebb
like
and flow.
Yep. We warned you. You might like it and want to do it more.
That's right. She warned you. You heard it here first. The disclaimer. It's not on us.
You know, I went to acupuncture, you know, a couple of years ago. So, you know, that I had anxiety at the time, so that's why I went, and it did help me. But it helped me with, you know, feeling better too. And sometimes, you know, I've never been to a chiropractor. So he's in Mexico. So whenever I'm going to go down there, I'm like, I'm going to go and see if I can see. I mean, nothing's wrong with me, but I just want to go just because it feels good. And, you know, when you feel good doing something, obviously you want to keep doing it, even if nothing's wrong.
Absolutely.
I mean, why do you get a massage? It's not like you're sick. You just want to get the massage because it makes you relax and it makes you feel good. And it's like maintenance for the body.
It is. And something that I explain to people a lot is that there's like this spectrum of like health, right? So there's like feeling okay, and then there's like being sick or feeling poor or having a disease process in the body, and then you're down here. And then there's also like everything up here. So it's not always about like, okay, I feel crappy, I want to feel normal. How do I go from normal to like
To
amazing?
great,
Like
yeah.
there's this whole room for human potential. Like how good can I feel? Like, you know, how do I see my life in HD? You know, it's like how much, sometimes you don't know how much better it can be until you go to that next level. You're like, whoa,
Right.
I didn't know I could feel this way.
Right.
Yeah, a new normal.
I think definitely, and just giving, you know, it's like maintenance to your body. I mean, you maintenance your car, you maintenance your house, everything. We maintenance everything except sometimes our bodies, unless we're sick.
Yes.
We just go to get fixed, but we don't do the work to keep us, you know, like you said, always in good health.
Absolutely. That's a very astute observation. It's like every decision we make brings us closer to health or farther away over the course of a lifetime. So we're not victims of our health. It's our choice.
A lot of people would say, well, then I have to pay money. And, you know, this is the way I see it. When I started eating organic, you know, we started buying organic food at home. And, of course, it is more expensive, you know, kind of double the price. But I was thinking, do I want to spend the money on food and have this awesome life because I feel so good? Or do I want to spend the money with the doctor and medications and then feel crappy the whole time because I'm sick? Either way, I'm going to spend the money. It's just like, how am I going to spend it? I'd rather spend it in a way that it's going to make me have a good life, healthy life, and still spending the money because, I mean, there's nothing free in this world, unfortunately. It's going to cost you, but what better way than use your money to feel good?
Totally. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's a great point. I think of it as an investment and not an expense. If you're spending money on your health, it's an investment. This is what we got to you know, to go through this world. So
Yeah.
invest
Otherwise,
in
you're
it.
going to spend it anyways, but it'll be to fix yourself
Exactly.
instead of just stay. Okay, great. Okay, let me go to the other questions that Claudia had here
So
for
many
us.
great questions from the
I
feed.
know.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, they're all involved. There was one that I thought
missed.
she would want to
Okay.
answer. This one said, I suffer from
Sciatica?
sciatica.
Mhm.
What do you suggest?
So sciatica tends to be a sensation, a nerve pain, right, shooting down the back of the leg. It's a really common condition, and that sensation can be caused by a number of things. It's not always truly, sometimes people come into our office with sciatica, we find that it's not truly that nerve being compressed by a bone, although it can be that.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, what we're looking at there is a misalignment in the pelvis somewhere or in the low back, that there's some sort of imbalance that's putting pressure on either the nerve itself or on a muscle that's wrapping around the nerve and making it angry.
Oh, okay. So you might want to make an appointment and go see her.
Yeah.
And that way you know for sure.
Yeah,
That
get it
was, who was
checked
that?
out.
Marisol. Hi, Marisol. Yes, give her a call. Let's see. The other question I have here is, what are the benefits of seeing a chiropractor if you're pregnant? Oh my God, like you're carrying
Such a good question.
30 pounds. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, if you think yourself through it, knowing what we just talked about, it becomes kind of obvious, right? But first thing is that as you are growing, this amazing, incredible life inside of your body, which is just, we could talk about that for all day just as it is. It's so cool.
Yeah.
But as you're growing this way, your center of gravity is moving forward. So you've got all sorts of different pressure and stress unloading on your spine. It can put a lot of extra tension on your muscles and on your ligaments, which is why pregnant women are prone to new sorts of aches and pains. Secondly, you have different hormones going on in your body. So you have a hormone called relaxin that works to soften your ligaments, so it makes everything a little bit more loosey-goosey to allow for that pelvis to expand. However, that also means that it makes your joints a little bit less stable. So you have a little bit less stability, which can put an additional strain, again, on the muscles and ligaments. And then thirdly, if we think about the pelvis, meaning like your two hip bones, you've got a bone in the middle, triangle-shaped bone called your sacrum, and you've got a joint in the front, your pubic bone. It's like a bowl, basically, and it starts to widen, obviously, as you're making
Getting
space
ready
to bring baby out into the world. You want this to be like a nice open space. And when you have something out of alignment in your pelvis or in your low back, it can kind of tweak that area and, you know, compress it and make it harder for the baby to find the correct position when it is time to come into this world. So an analogy I like to use is, let's say you were getting cozy and you were getting ready to go to bed, and you pull the sheets up over you, you're like getting comfy, and then I come in and I sit next to you on the bed, right next to you. I pull the sheet tight and then I sit down.
Comfortable.
How hard is it going to be then to find a comfortable position? You got this like tight sheet over you.
Right.
So having a misalignment, let's say, of that sacrum bone, it tensions, it's kind of like pulling that sheet. It's going to be a lot harder for baby to get comfortable and find the right optimal position in pregnancy. So, and that can also affect delivery outcomes as well. If there's space for baby's in a great position, you're going to have an easier and smoother labor and delivery and birth experience. So that's another reason why pregnant women come to see chiropractors.
Right. Okay. So did you get your answer? And then Mika has an answer. Sorry I'm late to the party, but any recommendations for those of us that sit at a desk most of the time?
Great question. This is so common. There was an article, I want to say it was New York Times, but the headline, I'll never forget it because it was like so shocking, but it said, "Sitting is the new smoking." And they were talking about how sitting can be just as detrimental to your health as smoking, which is a bold claim, but a lot of us are sitting at a desk, and what can we do? There are a lot of modifications you can make to your workstation to make sure that your body can be in a neutral position. So just one quick tip that I like to give people, in addition to having something like, what was it, Karen, that has the posture thing?
Yeah,
that
Karen.
sort of, you know, posture reminders, people reminding you how to be in good posture. But it's called the rule of 90s, and basically you want to have everything, all the angles moving from your feet up as close to 90 degrees as possible. That's going to keep you in a neutral position.
Like
so
this.
if you think about having like your ankles right underneath your shin bones at 90, it's a little harder to do in heels because your ankle's not going to be at 90 degrees.
Like I have
Maybe
to go
you
like
kick
this.
off your heels if you're going to be doing a long haul of work. And then you want your knees to be at 90 degrees. So this chair is a little bit high for me in terms of being right at that 90 degree mark. You want your hips to be at 90 with your torso. And then if possible, you want to have your arms in at about 90 degrees so you're not putting strain on your shoulders. And then you want to have your head stacked over your shoulders nicely. So if you were to look from the side, you want to have like your ear hole stacked right over your shoulder, and you don't want to be doing this.
Yeah.
Or this.
I think we made some adjustments in our office. We bought those brackets for our monitor to be higher, so we were forced to look up, and that really helped Claudia and I to see better, because we were like this the whole day, and we're like, I think it was Claudia's idea, like, oh my god, I need my monitor up here. First we put it on top of a box, then we ordered the brackets.
A good little life hack.
Yeah, and I know Karen, she got one of those desks that she can pull up, and she's standing some hours of the day.
Standing desks are awesome. Really, in a perfect world, you'd be alternating between standing and sitting every 20 minutes. That's kind of the magic number. So if you are in a sitting situation, you want to get up and stretch, even if it's just for 5 seconds, 10 seconds. Just do a little rotation, work it out a little bit, and then sit back down just to reset every 20, 30 minutes or so. You can set an alarm on your phone. If you've got one of those super sweet fitness watches, I know they've got some now that'll give an alarm if you've been sitting for more than 30 minutes. But what you mentioned with altering the height of the monitor, that's huge, because your body's going to eventually go to the position of where the computer is. If you set it up, then your body has to go like that in order to do the work. So you're setting yourself up for success.
Okay, Mika, get your monitor higher, and then try to do the exercise that she was saying. Maybe standing up a little. Copy Karen. She has that. Now she has that.
I want to see that thing. I'm curious about that.
Yeah, I'll have her show you. Karen is sitting right there. You can see her from the window.
Is that Karen?
That's her. That's Karen. So she'll come and meet you as soon as we get out. Do you take insurance?
Our office does not work directly with insurance, so we're out of network.
Okay.
Basically, we wanted to create care plans and pricing that families could afford, whether or not they have good insurance coverage.
Okay.
So people that are in our office that do have great coverage, that want to use their insurance, what we'll do for them is give them a super bill, and they can submit it to their own insurance company for potential reimbursement.
Okay.
We do accept flex spending accounts. If you have a health savings account or a flex spending account, you can use that in our office.
Okay. Perfect. Do you have a website?
I do. It is www.getclearchiropractic.com.
Perfect. So we'll put it also on top of the video so you guys can have that. We'll put her information there. Okay, I think that I missed any more questions. Okay, so it was the payment options. So what are can you give us some average cost for a visit?
Yeah. So our initial assessment, I mentioned before, we do a posture check. Depends on what's going on for people, how in-depth we'll go. But typically, it's a posture check. We do some physical ranges of motion testing. We do a computerized scan of your nerve system and of your muscles. And if necessary, we also have digital x-ray on site that we can do for people if needed. So typically the first visit ranges between 100 and 150 depending on what we do.
Including all those tests already?
Including all those tests.
That's good.
It also includes a visit to come back and review all those tests with me.
Okay.
Because I look everything over. I sit down, I'm like, okay, what's going on with this person? And then you come back and we talk about it. So I really do my homework. And that's something that I discuss with people. I come in, we do a consultation, which is always free, just to sit down and talk. And I'll tell them what I think they would need in terms of an exam, so they always know going into it what they're looking at. And then in terms of the adjustments, most people pay about $40 an adjustment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so those are good prices. And you take credit cards?
Yes.
Okay. So there. If you don't have no insurance, you can use your credit card.
And we do have extra savings for military and also for families. So as you come in as a family, we make it affordable for everyone to get care together.
For a discount. Okay, that's great. Well, that's a lot of information. I guess we all need to be adjusted, stay healthy, and I have to try it, even though I'm afraid of the cracking sound. I'll do it and then promise not to crack me.
I promise not to crack you.
I want to try it because you know what? I hear it so much lately from Claudia, and then my son loved it. So I kind of want to try it, but I had always been afraid hearing my sons, when the way they do it, and they're like, I'm like, oh my God, you guys are going to break a bone. But now that I know it's not really the bone cracking, it's just air, it makes me feel a lot better.
Yes. And who knows? Some people change their minds on that. There are people that come in and they're really apprehensive. They're like, never crack me. And then after a couple of sessions, they're like, let's try it. And then they love it. And now, they want that style every time. So
That's good.
You never know.
Let's do okay. Thank you, everyone. Let me see a few names that came in after. Mika, thank you for joining us. Marta Garcia from California Prefer Escrow. Mika is also from California Prefer Escrow. Marisol Nunez, thank you. Tony Santiago, our title rep. Jose Melar is also our title representative. Thank you. Osvaldo Asi, thank you for joining us. Jenny. Thank you, all of you. I'm not going to be able to say all the names because there's a lot of you there, but thank you so much for joining us, and hopefully you learned something today. I know I did.
Everybody's like this smile.
I know.
I've never
Make
seen
sure you
such
guys
good
are
posture in the
sitting up
office,
straight.
guys.
We should tell each other, like, hey, you're not standing straight. Like, maybe hold
You can have
each
a
other
code
and
word or a signal or something. You
Yeah.
snap or you
We all
bring one of
need
these
a-
buzzer sounds.
Yeah.
You choose a buzzer sound.
We need a taster.
Choose one of those sounds.
Oh, no, that's not the one. Maybe this
That's a good one.
Bounce back.
Bounce back. Bounce up, guys.
We're going to start doing that. Okay, guys. So we have 2 gift cards from Starbucks, and we'll have her pull the first name. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, I get to pull the name.
Yeah.
Who's it gonna be?
Come on, Eva. Get one that didn't win last week.
Who's the lucky winner? Martha Garcia.
Marta! Yay! Thank
Congratulations.
you.
Did she win last week?
No, she didn't.
Okay, good. A new winner.
She just asked me too if she was in there, and I said yes.
Oh, and she won. How funny.
Because she made good comments.
One more. Let's see.
Let's see.
Martha's back there.
Michaela Miki.
Oh my God, Mika!
Mika!
Oh.
Congratulations.
Mika, she's also from. They work together.
Oh. Congrats, that's a lucky spot.
Yes, thank you so much. We'll give those to Claudia, and then Claudia will give you your gift card. Thank you for joining us. Well, you know where to find her. What's the address?
It is 861 Harold Place, Suite 301. So it's Gherkin Family Chiropractic. There's 3 other chiropractors in our office, so we're a
Okay.
team. We actually have a massage therapist that works in our office as well. So
You just want to get a massage. Okay, make sure you call her, visit her. Thank you so much for giving us all that information. We learned a lot today.
thank you for having me. I had fun.
Okay, guys, see you next week. Wednesday, we have an open house this weekend. Check our page. It's in San Isidro on Smythe Avenue. It's a new listing, so make sure you visit our page and join us at the open house. Luis is going to be there Friday and Saturday. So we'll see you next week. We have a date at 4 p.m. Don't forget, good day, Chula Vista.
Bye.
Thank you, Eva.